And to start us off this week, we've got a cult classic gem. Well, in my opinion, a gem, but The Fifth Element.
Yes. Possibly the most Star Wars prequel movie I've ever seen outside of the Star Wars prequels.
Yes. So much so that I wonder if Lucas might have, done his homework, if you know what I mean.
Right, gotten a little inspiration.
Yes.
I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting that you called this a cult classic because so for some reason I'd had it in my head that this was a big financial disaster or something. I think that I was confusing it with that Prince Valerian movie.
Oh yeah.
But it was the #9 movie at the box office for 1997.
Yeah, I remember it did decent numbers when it came out, and then a lot of people discovered it when like home video and cable. Like, I mean, I used to see it on HBO all the time when I was a kid, and that's where I first watched it.
Yeah, it's so the Fifth Element is kind of an interesting film, and just doing a quick little bit of research on it, it won some awards in Europe for film, but it also won some of the received some nominations for the Golden Raspberries.
Okay.
And I can kind of see both reactions because it's very self-indulgent is probably the best way I would put it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, because
self-indulgent is not the same thing as bad. It's just like it's very intricately designed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Luc Besson really went all out with this movie, much like he did with Valerian. Although I would say this is the superior movie to that between those two.
Yeah, I tried to watch Valerian. I was at a drive-in movie theater at the time, and it was the second show, and we were in a motorhome, and I ended up falling asleep.
Oh,
because now here's the thing. My day job has forced me into a be at work at 7 o'clock body schedule or sleep schedule. So taking me to a movie and expecting me to keep watching after 10, after having just sitting through the Emoji Movie. Yeah, what a double feature that was.
Oh, man. Wow. Sheesh. Well, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we should talk about this one. So this is a sci-fi fantasy. Okay, I kind of resist calling it a sci-fi film, even though it's technically a sci-fi film. It really is more like a sci fable, a sci fantasy.
Yeah.
It's as we mentioned, Luc Besson directed, and this is like his passion project that he'd been writing since he was 16.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I saw some French comic influence on it. Apparently, he hired Jean Mobius Giraud and Jean-Claude Mézières, which, any apologies for my awful French pronunciation, two famous French comic book makers. So like that explains some of the look I was seeing in this thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Mobius was really big in with heavy metal, I think. Did a lot of work with them. So, I could definitely see the heavy metal influence in there too.
Yeah, you mentioned before the show that there was like a particular story from there that was like this.
Yeah, it was it was called Harry Canyon, which was a segment from Heavy Metal, the animated movie. It was basically Harry Canyon's he's a cab driver in a futuristic New York with a bunch of aliens around, and he ends up getting taking a fare from a beautiful young woman, and it kind of wraps up in this little film noir kind of thing where she seduces him and everything. So yeah, that's where a lot of it came from, or I think some influence from it came from Harry Canyon was for The Fifth Element.
It seems plausible. I mean, yeah, like I don't have a further thought of that. That seems plausible.
Yeah. And Sushi Kitten, hello, good to see you.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, you are right. Yes, the comic book was Valerian, and Laura Lean was what it was called. But yeah, but Besson brought in a lot of the like Mobius and a lot of other like French.
Right. It'd be like if you hired Jack Kirby to do your art design for a '90s action movie, and it happened to look like Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess we should get to the plot of the movie. So the movie, the prologue is set in 1914, where there's this temple in Egypt, and this archaeologist has stumbled upon this great discovery, where there are these four stones that are powered by the four different elements: fire, water, air, and earth, and then a fifth element, which is the supreme being. And as it turns out, that it's actually these aliens called the Mondachiwans, I believe. They're in these like armored suits. They look like giant turtles, and they walk like penguins.
Yeah, like so I just want to say right away, like the practical costuming effects in this are they are very nice, very primo.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of like I think the sensibilities kind of remind me a little bit of Babylon 5, but Babylon 5 wishes it had this budget.
yeah.
for like the good aliens in particular.
Yeah. Hey Ninja, good to see you, man.
Hey Ninja, long time no see.
Yeah, but so and they have there's a human priest there that they work with that's kind of like, you know, overseeing the elements. But the Mondachiwans arrive because you know, World War I is about to start, and the stones and the fifth element are not safe on Earth, so they move them away. And the one leader of the aliens gets trapped inside the chamber where they're all being kept, and he gives the priest the key and says, you know, wait for our return or whatever, because there's going to be a great evil that shows up. There's a great evil that shows up every 5,000 years, and it's going to return, you know, in the next, you know, few hundred years. So then we flash forward to, you know, what was it, 400 years later?
Yeah, 23rd century. So
yeah,
I guess 300-ish.
300, yeah, 300, 400 years. And this giant planet, black planet, shows up, and it's very powerful, and they don't, you know, and of course they tried to shoot it and doesn't do anything. And then we meet a priest named who's a part of this whole line of other priests, Vito Cornelius, who's played by Ian Holm, who was in Alien. He was the android in Alien. He was also Bilbo Baggins in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh, he looks taller in this one.
Oh yes, he looks a lot taller in this one. Yeah. Amongst a lot of other movies that he had been in through his, you know, illustrious career. But he basically tells him, you know, the only way to stop it is with the stones and the fifth element. But then so the Mondachiwans are taking them back to Earth, but then the ship gets shot down by these ugly aliens called Mangalores. But then as it turns out, the fifth element survives, and the fifth element is, you know, they bring it to life, and it's Milla Jovovich.
Yeah, it is a scene where it's like, oh, we're able to just totally recreate the body because we have the hand, and they just 3D print a whole new body for her. Yeah. And I gotta say, like that was a cool scene. That seemed it's definitely like a very imaginative from a science fiction perspective for 1997.
Yeah. And hey, not so private playlist. We're overcomplicating the whole. Yeah. There's some of that. Yeah.
Look, that's the underlying theme of the movie, but there's also like you know, you gotta have your window dressing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then of course we also meet Bruce Willis's character Corbin Dallas, who is a former military like fighter pilot, you know, all around badass, who is now driving a cab in New York, a flying cab. and as Milia Jovovich is escaping, she jumps off and falls right into his cab, and then it kicks off the rest of the movie from there because he takes her to the priest, and then you know, from there, you know, they're like, okay, well, we got to find the other stones, and then you know, join them all together to stop the evil planet. And of course, you've also got Gary Oldman's character Zurg, who is I actually looked it up. His performance is a cross between uh, Bugs Bunny and Bugs Bunny and Ross Perot. And for those of you who are too young to know who Ross Perot was a funny little businessman from Texas who ran for president a couple of times. And he's actually he's one of the main reasons why Bill Clinton got elected in 92.
Yep, split the vote enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so plot-wise, I would say that would it be unfair to call this an excuse plot? Because like this feels like something a 16-year-old would dream up.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, you know, it's a very, very angsty and very hormonal 16-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also I more just mean like it's like a little bit generic, which again, I actually overall like this movie. It's just that it did strike me on my second viewing here that like I said, a little bit a little bit generic.
Yeah.
Mind you, it isn't quite the beam in the sky Marvel movie ending we've all gotten tired of.
Yeah. Well, there's a beam in the sky at the end, but you know,
yeah, well, it feels different,
right?
Because there's actually a thing it's affecting.
Right. Yeah.
Now, actually, okay, we'll talk about the actor who played the president.
Oh yeah.
So the other thing about this movie is that it feels vaguely farcical because everybody except for Corbin Dallas is an idiot or incompetent.
Yes.
Or both.
Yeah, the president is played by Tony Tiny Lister Jr., who's as Not So Private Playlist points out, he was in Friday. There's also another actor who was in Friday that's also in this movie too. We'll get to him in a second. He's just, you know, he there's actually a scene where they're like, oh, you know, you don't sound like a president. The president's an idiot.
Yeah. It's Corbin Dallas's mom calls. They put the president on the phone. Like, she accuses him of just being Corbin putting on a voice because you don't sound like an idiot, and the president's an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, he keeps making he makes all these different decisions that are just like okay, dude, you know.
Yeah. Well, to quote Mayor Quimby from The Simpsons, whichever way the wind shall blow, I blow that way also.
Yeah. And of course, another character in there is Ruby Rod, played by Chris Tucker.
In a role so ridiculous that Prince refused to take it.
Yes.
He thought the outfits were too feminine and weird.
Yeah.
Which, boy, when you out-freak Prince at his heyday in the 90s.
Yeah. It's you're really over there.
But it is okay. It's not the most dignified character, but look, Chris Tucker sold his dignity many, many years ago for a large pile of money, and nobody screams or tries to fast talk quite like Chris Tucker.
No, right. Yes. Yeah, I will say when Rush Hour was coming out, and because at the time I was getting into Jackie Chan movies, and I heard that Jackie Chan was doing a movie with Chris Tucker, and I'm like, wait, that guy from Fifth Element, really? Him? He's doing a movie with him?
Yeah, like all of he just looks ridiculous. All of his outfits are like ball gowns with roses.
Yeah. Yeah, and the buns and the hair, and Oof. But,
Yeah, I do not blame. Actually, let's see if we can get a picture of that. One sec.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Don't blame Prince for not wanting to take the role.
Yeah, seriously. Like,
Yeah.
um, it just seems like it's a very silly movie in a lot of ways. Like,
Yeah.
I feel that I was about to say that Bruce Willis is the only serious character, but even he is doing his usual like shtick of
Yeah.
like one-liners and such.
Yeah.
Um,
Like the thing. Are you human? Negative. I'm a meat popsicle.
yeah, so it feels like it's vaguely satirical. Like I said, like it's just everything is everybody's incompetent. Nobody can do anything right except for Corbin.
Yeah.
Um, was this the movie that gave us Mila Jovovich? Was she a thing before this?
Well, she was in Dazed and Confused, but I don't know if a whole lot of people probably remember her from that. I think this was the movie, yeah. And then because I think Resident Evil was like a couple of years after this one.
Right, and this is much more of like the resume for getting into those action movies.
Yeah,
Because she can look pretty convincing holding a gun or throwing a punch.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But no. I really like this movie. It's I haven't watched it in a long time, so it was refreshing to go back to it. Um, reminder of a simpler time when I was a kid.
I only saw it in my late 20s with a buddy. So it's nice to watch it a second time. The sheer silliness of so much of it definitely stuck out to me on a second watch. Like I did keep thinking of the Star Wars prequels with like just this is a director doing exactly what he wants to do. And like a lot of things are very intricately designed. So like the villain at his desk, he has like a little elephant thing that pops out when he presses a button, and he's like all these little toys and trinkets, and he has like these super choreographed Roombas to clean up things on the ground, and it's just
Yeah.
and I just thought to myself, man, like some stage person had to spend probably weeks designing those things, like the look of them, figuring out how to make them move in exact sequence with each other
Yeah.
for like a blink and you miss it scene that nobody's going to remember.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, that's okay. To be fair, I remembered this scene, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like
Yes. Yeah.
like just every bit of this movie is full of that kind of crazy detail. Like the futuristic New York is. It actually reminds me a lot of Coruscant in the Star Wars prequels.
Yes.
Although I think some of that was established in the Star Wars novels in advance, so Lucas gets off this time.
Yeah.
But I liked the deal where like you have the floating Chinese restaurant that just goes from window to window.
Yeah. Yeah. And the McDonald's that's in a really high building, and you just
Yeah.
put the trays out, like the old drive-in diner, like the old diners,
Yeah. So it's like I don't know if it necessarily felt coherent, but it definitely felt imaginative the whole way through.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Also, let's see, who played the priest again?
Ian Holm.
Ian Holm. I really liked him in this one. Like he wasn't really allowed to do much, but he was like he was the character who was taking the whole thing seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which helped ground some scenes. But some of the scenes in this are just outright silly. Like and you will probably laugh out loud at least a couple of times.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I also got to say that runtime of under 90 minutes, or 126 minutes. I did my mental math wrong. It's just over 2 hours. So
Yeah.
It didn't feel like 2 hours when I was watching it. So
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Because it just has this energy that goes.
Yeah.
So yes, I think I'm not as big a fan of it as Daniel is, but it's definitely a worthy movie. So if you haven't seen it for whatever reason, give it a go.
Yes.
I guess the only caveat I'll give is Chris Tucker may be extremely annoying in his scenes,
Yeah.
especially once the action starts. So
Yeah, he's got a lot to go back to the Star Wars prequels. A lot of Jar Jar Binks in him.
yeah, and gosh, which character is more annoying?
Yeah.
Probably Binks, but Chris Tucker, you get more like sustained. Man, this really is like the unofficial 0th Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
In terms of the sensibilities of it. So if
Yeah.
you're a Star Wars prequel enjoyer, this will probably be even more up your alley.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Currently on Netflix.